one last thing. I guess Kamala Harris and Tim Walz have decided to do their first interview with CNN on Thursday night at 9:00 with Dana Bash. What are your thoughts there?
I mean, it's good. She was going to do one anyway. I mean, I don't understand why people act like she was running from an interview. She couldn't do an interview before she rolled out her policy like that. We keep forgetting like it's only been a month, right? So we expect all of this stuff in 1 month. Like, how could she give an interview before the DNC? And before her policy, like that was never going to happen. She had to get the nomination formally before she did an interview. And then she had to put out a policy because they're going to ask her about policy during the interview. You can't talk about that prior to you doing your campaign spiel and your policy. Like, and here she is right on cue, interview right set up. Like, I don't
Well,
understand.
I mean, it's clear why, because what they need to do is they need to find a way to attack her. So
Right.
now she's going to do the interview, and after the interview, they're going to find a new way to attack
Oh
her,
no,
and
I
then they're
already
going to
know
find a
what they're
new way.
gonna say. She needed walls there to protect her. How come she didn't do it by herself? It's like there's gonna be something stupid like that.
If
Like,
I'm not mistaken, did I not see Trump and JD Vance do an
yeah,
interview together not that
yeah,
long ago?
of
And the
course.
other idea, first of all, they're going to give this idea that it's on CNN. I want to dispel this myth, and a lot of people aren't going to believe it anyway. CNN is not a far left-wing network. They just
Not at
are
all.
not. They are they're not a propaganda network like Fox News is for the right. They are a network that just wants a lot of money. And they will sensationalize the news, and they will be over opinionated, but they are not a arm for the Democratic Party. That's just so
Not at all.
stupid. But let's just say it is. Let's just roll with it and go with whatever it is that you want to say. Let's just say it's a far left network, CNN. That's what they're going to say, is that, oh, she ran to CNN. I have yet to see Donald Trump do a sit-down interview with anybody that's not Fox News or Newsmax
How about
or
Rachel Maddow? Never. Right.
right,
He
right.
won't go
When's
on
he on?
a real right. He won't go on a real news outlet. Like it's not even going on outlet. Fox is not news. Hannity said that it's not news. He said it's opinion news or whatever he called it. He said
He
it's
said
not
he's not a real
journalism.
journalist.
Yeah, he said that. But they keep calling it news when the people on there are saying we are not journalists. We're not. This is not news. It's not news. They're telling you it's not news. So stop acting like it's Trump is on a real news. Oh, Kamala won't debate on Fox News. Fox is not news. They're not journalists. Why would she do that?
Lana, first of all, the balls on anybody to say that they wouldn't do a debate on Fox News. Fox News was sued for $787 million fucking dollars because they literally lied about the election. Why would any politician go on a network that lied about an election? And you know what? There's $787 million worth of proof that they lied about the election. In fact, they didn't lose that amount. They settled for that amount. They said, you know what? Let's just get the fuck out of this and give them the money because we could probably lose a lot more, because I think they were suing for like 1.5 billion.
Yeah. Yeah. And we saw the emails.
Yeah.
We saw the testimony.
Yep.
They lied and they knew they lied. It was in the emails. All of your Fox Newscasters.
Brett Baer, Tucker Carlson was on there. He was on there talking about how much he hated Donald Trump. And then, of course, he's doing the same thing that all MAGA men do. They get down on their knees and unzip his zipper and do whatever it is they need to do for Donald Trump. They all do this. And it is so pathetic. And for these dudes to call themselves men is just... I don't get it. I ain't bowing down for no guy. I'll appreciate somebody and I'll defend and I'll do all that stuff. But man, I mean, for me to say I really can't stand somebody and then to turn around and do a complete 180, for some sort of whatever power it is they think they're getting, it's just weird, man. It's just weird.
Trump doesn't sensationalize. Trump lies. There's a difference between sensationalizing and just being a liar. It's like you got to look it up.
Right.
The meanings are two different things. A lie is a lie. That's not sensationalized.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can sensationalize the truth. Like
Yeah.
you could just make it bigger than what it is. Trump just fucking lies. Like he just tells lies.
Yep. And he's done that his entire life. His
lies.
entire life. He was taught early on just to run people over and just to say whatever it is that you want, and you're going to win. And you know, it's worked for him. It's worked for him for a very, very long time. But there's just all signs at this point indicate that this may be running out in November. But, you know, obviously nothing is, nothing's a done deal. But, you know, the more I read about this and the more I look at it, the more I feel better, Lana, because what's happening is that we're seeing the polls trend all towards Kamala Harris, right? And the reason why that's important to note is because these are all people who are now either changed their answer. Well, they definitely changed their answer from, I doubt a lot of them changed it from Trump to Harris, but you might have a very small few. Maybe some of the Republicans at the DNC were influential. Then you had the independents who are now saying Harris, and you had a lot of the people who said, I can't vote for Biden because it's just too embarrassing, you know, and now you've got these people coming in.
Re-energized, right? You have people who are re-energized. And the bad news for Trump, and hopefully the good news for Kamala, is that these polls and what's trending doesn't even account for the millions of new voters that they've gotten registered. Those aren't in here yet. They're not in the polls.
And Lana, too, at this point, we all know who Donald Trump is. So Kamala's new. So that's why you see a change in the polls. Donald Trump's old. Everybody knows who he is. It's not like somebody was sitting around and going, you know what, let me kind of finally take a look at this Donald Trump character and let me see if it's somebody I want to vote for. We already know who he is. He's not adding any voters.
And he doesn't want to, because now the plan that we know is to suppress all the other people's votes. So he's not trying to get Black votes, Native votes, Asian votes. He's keeping his base, and what they're going to do is go into every state that's tight, Georgia, North Carolina, and try to mess with fucking electors and everything else like he did in 2020, and then try to project and say it's the Democrats that cheated when it's literally him. Like, how can you say Democrats cheated when he's on the phone asking for votes? Like, that's wild to me, but he's doing it again.
At the time, he was the most powerful person in the world, and he couldn't pull it off. So, you know, who knows this time? And again, you know, there are some people in certain places where it may be a little different this time, but just everything I saw and read, I'm not sure it's really something to be worried about. And at the end of the day, what needs to just happen is Kamala just needs to blow this cat out, and let's just, you know, let's end this thing so there are no questions. And just go from there.